All right, so we're moving on to day 2 with solving equations. And we're going to keep working on some two-step equations. We're going to throw some more distribution in today and even start looking at how do we combine terms and then solve, okay? So why don't we go ahead and start with these two problems. So go ahead and see if you can get your steps written. And if you can get them solved, great. And if you can't, then just get your steps done and I will help you solve. So go ahead and hit pause. I'll catch up with you in just a minute. All right, here we go. So here's my C. The first thing happening to C, +1. Opposite, -1. Second thing, divide -3. So times -3. So the first thing I have to do is multiply by that -3. So multiply -3, multiply -3. Cross it out. Drop my C +1. And -3 times -21, that's 63. If you haven't already opened your Desmos Scientific Calculator, make sure that that's open so you can be doing some math at the same time. Or if you just have a calculator next to you, that's fine too. Okay, next step, -1. -1, -1. Cross it out. C is equal to 62. All right, if you got 62, give yourself a high five. Okay, now this next one, I have to distribute first. Okay, now if you didn't distribute first, you'll get the same answer. Okay, but we're going to just practice and get in the habit of always distributing first so that we only have 2 terms over here on the left or the right. So 2 terms equals 1 term is what we want to try to get to, or 1 term equals 2 terms. Okay, that's where we want to try to get to, or 1 term equals 1 term, because it's just easier to do our steps with that. So let's multiply. -3 times 2 is -6. -3 times 5 is -15. Okay, now I'm going to do my steps. Times -6, divide -6. -15, plus 15. So the first thing I'm doing is adding 15. So if you haven't already finished this problem, go ahead and hit pause and see if you can finish this problem. Okay, now I'm going to divide by -6. We crossed out, we dropped down, cross out. Okay, now this is a fraction, okay? 19 divided by 6, that doesn't come out even. 19 divided by 6 is 3.2 or 3.1666, okay? We can round that to 3.2. So this could be 3.2. Now the other thing that we can do, which is perfectly acceptable, if I take 19 and I divide by 6 and I want to look at that as a fraction, okay, I want to look at that as a fraction, it stays 19 over 6. So I am very okay with seeing x equals 19 over 6 as an answer, okay? Normally, we actually leave them in fraction form. We don't turn them to decimals unless we actually have decimals in our problem. But either way works, okay? Okay, let's just quickly review distribution. Remember that distribution has to go to each piece of the pie inside the parentheses. So if I look at this one, there's 1, 2, 3 terms inside of this parenthesis, okay? So I'm going to multiply 1, 2, 3 times when I distribute. And if there's nothing in front of a variable, I know that is a positive 1, okay? So my first multiplication is -4 times 1, which is a -4x. The second multiplication, -4 times 8, is a -32y. And it's really important that I keep the signs with the numbers. The third multiplication, -4 times 10, is -40. Okay, -40. So same thing over here. Negative 2 times 3, negative 6. Negative 2 times 6 is a negative 12, okay? We are not going to write this as plus a negative. This is not appropriate, okay? You only get to have one sign in between. So it's either going to be a positive or it's going to be a negative. So one sign in between. All right, let's go ahead and I'll help you with the first one. Then I'm going to let you hit pause and see if you can solve the second one. And we'll go from there. So negative 3 times 6 is negative 18. And negative 3 times negative 6 is a positive 18. All right, now let's do our steps. Times 18, divide 18. Minus 18 plus 18. So the first thing I'm doing is adding 18. This is going to go away. So 108 plus 18 is 126. Okay, is 126. Now I'm going to do the next step, which is division. Remember, that's a line. 18, 18, cross out. Drop the x. 126 divided by 18 is 7. And I'm done. Okay, go ahead and start the next problem. So go ahead and distribute. I'll catch up with you. Hit pause. All right, let's see how you did. 4 times negative 10 is a negative 40. 4 times negative 7 is a negative 28x. Oops, I better put my 2 in there. All right, here's my x. So the first thing happening is times negative 28, divide negative 28. The second thing, minus 40, plus 40. So I'm starting here. Plus 40, plus 40. So negative 28x equals negative 320 plus 40 is going to give me a negative 280. Next step is division. Divide negative 28. Divide negative 28. Cross out. The x drops. Negative 28 divided by negative 280 divided by negative 28 is a 10. So if you got a 10, high five. Good job. All right, go ahead and take a look at this next one. What do you think's going on this one? So I see this negative right here. Okay, I see this negative, and I need to realize that that is a negative 1. That is a negative 1. So negative 1 times 2 is a negative 2x, and a negative 1 times 4 is a minus 4. Okay, go ahead and hit pause and finish that problem. All right, first thing we're going to do is add 4. Both sides, cross out. Drop the negative 2x. 12 plus 4 is 16. Second step, divide by negative 2. Cross out. X equals 16 divided by negative 2, negative 8. Okay, negative 8. Okay, let's look at this next one. So I see distribution, but I also see another number. And remember, we wanted to have 2 terms is equal to 1 term, or 1 term equals 2 terms, or 1 term equals 1 term. And right now I have multiple numbers there. So I have to do something to be able to simplify that. So we're going to start by distributing. And notice this distribution stops at the end of the parenthesis. So 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times negative 5 is negative 10x. Now, this plus 4, it drops. Okay, we have to look for like terms. And I see that these two are like terms. So I'm going to go ahead and add those. So I come up with negative 10x plus 6 is equal to negative 8. Okay, negative 10 plus 6 is equal to negative 8. So that's simple. Now, negative 10 multiply, divide negative 10 plus 6 minus 6. So go ahead and hit pause and see if you can solve this problem. All right, so first thing we got to do is move that 6. So gone. Negative 8 minus 6 is negative 14. Drop the negative 10. Divide negative 10. Cross out. X is equal to. Now let's try negative 14 and negative 10 and see what happens. So negative 14 divide negative 10. Okay, and I get 1.4, but I want that as a fraction. So it's telling me 7 over 5. 7 over 5. So I've got 1.4 or 7 over 5. Both of those answers work. All right, let's see what you can do with homework today. You're going to be working on a lot of distribution. Tomorrow, we're going to do more of these advanced ones that have combining of like terms. And we're getting to the point where we're going to have a quiz here in a couple days. So if you've got questions and you're not getting these figured out, make sure you reach out to us.